Genesis 6:4, 4 verses before Noah builds the ark. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown. That's it, 2 sentences. No explanation of who the Nephilim are. No explanation of who the sons of God are. No follow-up. The text introduces one of the strangest beings in the entire Bible, and then moves on to Noah as if nothing happened. This is sacred space. We follow the threads the official version stops at. The word Nephilim appears only twice in the Hebrew Bible, Genesis 6:4 and Numbers 13:33, where the Israelite spies return from Canaan and report, "We saw the Nephilim there. The descendants of Anak come from the Nephilim. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them." Grasshoppers. That's the scale they're describing. The Hebrew root of Nephilim is debated. Some scholars derive it from the verb naphal, to fall, the fallen ones. Others read it as those who cause others to fall. The Septuagint, the ancient Greek translation of the Hebrew Bible, renders it as gigantes, giants. That's where the English tradition of giants comes from. But giants isn't quite right either. The text doesn't give us heights, it gives us renown. The question the text raises and doesn't answer: who were the sons of God? 3 main interpretations have competed in Jewish and Christian scholarship for 2,000 years. The first, fallen angels, divine beings who descended to earth, took human wives, and produced hybrid offspring. This is the reading the Book of Enoch develops in extensive detail. The Watchers, 200 of them, led by a figure named Semiezer, who swore an oath together on a mountain and descended. The Watchers in Enoch aren't background characters. They're the reason for the flood. Their hybrid children, the giants, consumed the earth's resources, turned on each other, and finally turned on humanity. God's response was the deluge, not to punish human sin alone, but to end what the Watchers had started. The second interpretation, the sons of Seth, godly lineage of Seth, son of Adam, intermarrying with the ungodly line of Cain. This reading dominated early Christian commentary because it avoided the uncomfortable idea of angels having physical relationships with humans. The third, ancient kings or rulers. The phrase sons of God in the ancient Near East sometimes referred to royalty or those with divine mandate. On this reading, Genesis 6 describes dynastic marriages between ruling houses. Powerful, but not supernatural. The New Testament appears to take the angelic reading seriously. Jude 1:16 refers to angels who did not keep their proper domain but abandoned their own dwelling. 2 Peter 2:4 mentions angels who sinned. Neither passage names the Nephilim directly, but both are read by scholars as referencing exactly this tradition. After the flood, the Nephilim appear to be gone, but then, Numbers 13:33, the spies see them in Canaan, descendants of Anak, the Anakim, and elsewhere in the Hebrew Bible, the Rephaim, Og of Bashan, whose iron bed, according to Deuteronomy, measured 9 cubits long, roughly 13.5 feet. These are named individuals in specific places. The text treats them as historical. The Philistine giant killed by David, Goliath of Gath, his brothers, mentioned in 2 Samuel, who fall one by one to David's warriors. By the end of that sequence, the text says, the line of the Rephaim was cut off. The Book of Enoch, written between roughly 300 and 100 BCE, says what happened to the spirits of the giants after the flood. They became demons, disembodied spirits wandering the earth, because they were neither fully human nor fully divine and belonged nowhere. That's not in your Bible, but Jude quoted Enoch, and Enoch said this. Here's what the text leaves open. The sons of God descended. The Nephilim were born. The flood came. Then afterward, the Nephilim were still there. Numbers says so. Deuteronomy says so. Joshua says so. Samuel says so. The giants survived the flood that was supposed to end them. The Bible never explains how. What does it mean that the text introduces these beings, never defines them, never fully eliminates them, and never explains where they came from or where they went? Leave your answer below. I read everyone.